Once upon a time, in a small city, there lived a beggar at a busy railway station. Every day he sat on the platform, asking passing passengers for alms. That was his life, waiting for kindness, surviving on coins, and believing that fate had chosen this path for him. But one day, something happened that changed his destiny forever. As he was begging as usual, he noticed a tall, well-dressed man stepping off the train. The beggar thought, "This man looks rich. Maybe he will give me some good money." So he rushed forward and humbly stretched out his hand. The gentleman stopped, looked at him seriously, and asked, "You always ask people for something. But have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar was shocked. He replied softly, "Sir, I'm just a poor beggar. How can I give anything to anyone? I have nothing." The man smiled slightly and said, "If you cannot give, you have no right to ask. I am a businessman. I believe in give and take, only when you offer something of value to the world. Will the world offer something back to you?" With those words, the man boarded the train and left. But his words struck the beggar's heart like lightning. That night, the beggar couldn't sleep. He kept thinking, "Maybe that's why I never get enough. I've never given anything to anyone." For 2 days he kept wondering, but what can a beggar give? He had nothing, no money, no property, no possessions. Then on the 3rd day, as he sat near the station, he noticed some beautiful flowers blooming by the railway fence. An idea suddenly flashed in his mind. He thought, "Why don't I give flowers to the people who give me alms?" So he plucked a few flowers and began his new approach. Now, whenever someone gave him coins, he would smile and offer them a flower in return. People were surprised and delighted. No one had ever received a flower from a beggar before. Slowly, more and more people began to give him money, not out of pity, but out of admiration. The beggar had unknowingly turned his begging into a small business. He was giving, and the universe was responding. Days turned into weeks. The beggar's life began to change. He started saving his earnings, buying more flowers, and giving them away with love. People now came looking for him, the beggar who gave flowers. Then one day he saw the same tall man again on the train. The beggar hurried to him and said with a bright smile, "Sir, I remember you. Today I've brought something to give you." He handed the man a few fresh flowers. The man smiled warmly and said, "Ah, so you've become a businessman too." That day, those simple words touched the beggar's heart once again. For the first time, he didn't feel like a beggar anymore. He looked at the sky and shouted with joy, "I'm not a beggar, I'm a businessman." From that day onwards, the man never returned to the railway station to beg again. Months passed. 6 months later, at the same station, 2 well-dressed men were standing side by side. One of them recognized the other and said, "Wait, have we met before?" The other man smiled and replied, "Yes, sir, we've met twice before, both times on this very train." The businessman looked confused. "Really? When was that?" The man smiled again and said, "The first time, I was a beggar asking for alms. The second time, I gave you flowers in return. And today, I stand before you as a successful flower merchant." The businessman's eyes widened in amazement. The former beggar continued, "You taught me the greatest rule of life, that to receive something, we must first give something. When I started to give, I started to grow." The 2 men shook hands with deep respect and smiled. The beggar, now a businessman, boarded the train to deliver flowers to another city, leaving behind a powerful message for all of us. Music softens. Narrator, closing message. This story teaches us that true success begins with a change in mindset. When we shift our thoughts from "what can I get" to "what can I give," the entire universe starts working in our favor. Stop seeing yourself as small or limited. Start believing in your own worth. Because once you change your thinking, your entire life begins to change.